Before we get into today's chat, quick one. If you're not 100% sure how your HR is really holding up, take our free HR health check. It's short, jargon-free, and gives you a clear score on what's working and what needs a bit of love. And if you do it before 1st April 2026, you'll get a bonus 7-pillar strategy on a page, tailored to help you manage HR brilliantly for the year ahead. Just head to kateunderwoodhr.co.uk/HR-health-check or check the link in the show notes. If you've ever hired someone you were really excited about, and then 2 weeks in, you're thinking, oh no, have I made a mistake? Welcome to New Starter Wobbles. That weird, slightly panicky stage where you're not sure if it's normal settling in nerves or the first sign you've got a bigger problem on your hands. This is Buzzing About HR, and today we're talking New Starter Wobbles. When to coach and when to call it. Hello and welcome back. It's Kate. Hazel is here too, my wellbeing officer. She's sat nearby, giving me the look that says, if this episode includes the words probation review, I deserve a biscuit. Hazel sighs. Translation, proceed. Right. Let's start with the reality. Most new starters wobble. It's normal. They're learning your systems, your way of working, your pace, your standards, and your personalities. Even confident people can go a bit quiet at the start. Even experienced people can make basic mistakes when everything is unfamiliar. The problem is, small businesses don't have the luxury of waiting 6 months to find out if someone's going to come good. You need to know fairly quickly whether this is just a wobble or a warning sign. And if you get this wrong, you either do one of two things. You coach for too long and keep someone who isn't right, which drains the team. Or you panic too early and lose someone who would have been brilliant with the right support. So let's talk about how to spot the difference. New starter wobbles usually show up as things like this. They're a bit slow. They're unsure. They ask lots of questions. They miss small details. They're not confident with your systems yet. They need reassurance. They're a little overwhelmed, especially in busy environments. That's normal. But there are other signs that aren't just wobbles. And it's important to be honest about them because your gut is often picking up on patterns before your brain wants to admit it. So here are the common warning signs. 1. Attitude problems. Not nervousness, not quietness. Attitude, blaming others, being defensive, rolling their eyes, being rude, being dismissive, acting like basic tasks are beneath them. 2. Repeated mistakes with no learning curve. Everyone makes mistakes. But if the same mistakes keep happening and nothing changes after feedback, that's not settling in. That's capability or effort. 3. Poor reliability. Turning up late repeatedly. Calling in sick constantly within the first few weeks. Disappearing. Not responding. Not following the basic rules. That's not a wobble. That's a pattern. 4. Not doing what they said they could do. This is the big one. If you hired someone based on certain skills and those skills just aren't there, you don't want to spend months trying to turn them into someone else. 5. Impact on the team. If the team is already walking on eggshells around them, having to redo their work or picking up slack constantly, the cost isn't just performance. It's morale. Now, here's where people get stuck. They think, but it's early. I don't want to be unfair. And you're right to care about fairness, but fairness isn't waiting until everyone is fed up and then doing a messy exit. Fairness is clear expectations, early feedback, and giving someone a real chance to improve in a structured way. So here's the approach I want you to take. Calm, consistent, and kind. First, get really clear on what good looks like in the role. Not vague, not be proactive. Actual standards. What are the key tasks? What does a good day look like? What does success look like by week 2, week 4, week 8? If you don't define that, you can't coach it, and the employee can't hit a target that doesn't exist. Second, work out whether the issue is skill, will, or fit. Skill is they can't do it yet. Will is they won't do it consistently. Fit is they can do it, but it's not the right environment or pace for them. Skill can often be coached. Will is harder. Fit is usually nobody's fault, but it still needs dealing with. Third, don't store it up. Have the conversation early while it's still small. And you can do this in a really supportive way. You can say, I want to check in. You're still settling in, and that's normal. But I've noticed a few things, and I want to talk them through so we can set you up to succeed. Then be specific, not your attitude. Say what you saw. You missed these steps. The deadline was missed. We've had 3 late arrivals. This piece of work had these errors. Specific feedback is kinder because it's actionable. Fourth, agree a short improvement plan. Keep it simple. You do not need to turn this into a dramatic performance process in week 3. You just need clarity. Agree 3 things. What needs to improve, what support you will provide, when you will review it, and put it in writing. Not because you're being mean, because it protects both sides and keeps it clear. It stops the awkward, I didn't know it was that serious moment later. Fifth, support properly. This is where a lot of employers accidentally sabotage coaching. You say you need to improve, but you don't give time, training, shadowing, or clear instructions. Then you're annoyed they didn't improve. That's not coaching. That's wishing. If it's skill, give skill support. If it's systems, train. If it's standards, show examples. If it's speed, talk about priorities and shortcuts that are acceptable. Sixth, watch the trend line, not one bad day. Everyone can have a bad day. Everyone can wobble. What you want to see is improvement over time. Are they learning? Are they applying feedback? Are they asking better questions? Are mistakes reducing? Is confidence growing? If yes, keep coaching. If no, and you've been clear and supportive, then you're moving into call it territory. So when do you call it? You call it when you have clear evidence that the gap is not closing, the behaviour isn't shifting, and the impact on the business and team is growing. You call it when the same issues repeat after feedback. You call it when trust is dropping, because once trust is gone, it's hard to rebuild. You call it when the role needs a certain standard and it's clear they're not going to reach it in a reasonable time. And yes, probation exists for a reason. It's there to protect the business and the employee from being stuck in something that isn't working. Now, a quick practical note. If you're going to end probation, do it properly and kindly. Don't ghost them. Don't drag it out. Don't do we'll see for weeks and then suddenly end it. Have a meeting. Be clear and calm. Refer to the expectations and the feedback you've already given. Explain that it's not working out. Confirm the notice period and do it with dignity. You can say something like, we've had a few check-ins and we've put support in place, but the role needs X and we're not seeing the improvement we need. On that basis, we're ending your employment during probation. You don't need to list every mistake in history. You need to be clear and respectful. And if you're feeling guilty, remember this. Keeping the wrong person costs you more. It costs you time. It costs you energy. It costs your team's patience, it costs your standards, and it often ends in a worse outcome for the person too, because they get further into a role they can't meet. Sometimes the kindest thing is an early, honest ending, done properly. Now let's do a quick check so you know what to do this week. Ask yourself, have I set clear expectations for this person? Have I given specific feedback early? Have I offered real support to help them improve? Am I seeing an improvement trend line? Is the team carrying them? Is this a skill gap I can coach, or a will or fit issue that won't change? If it's skill and the trend line is moving up, keep coaching. If it's will or fit, or the trend line is flat despite support, don't drag it out. Call it. Kindly. Hazel sighs again. Translation. If you're calling it, call it. Don't hover for weeks like a nervous pigeon. Agreed, Hazel. Strong, kettle on, standards up. See you next time. That's it for today. But if you fancy a bit of friendly HR advice in your inbox with zero waffle, come and join our newsletter. We send out bite-sized tips, plain English updates, and handy things you'll actually use. No spam, no fluff. You can sign up at kateunderwoodhr.co.uk/newsletter-sign up, or just hit the link in the show